Hey guys, now I'm going to show you how to make maybe everyone's favorite whiskey cocktail, arguably the most famous whiskey cocktail going around nowadays. It's made with American whiskey. It's called an old fashioned. Some people make theirs with brandy and muddled fruit, others with rye whiskey, others with bourbon. Really depends where you're from. Today I'm going to be making mine with a mixture of two American whiskies. Firstly, Old Ezra 7-year overproof bourbon. Overproof indicates that the spirit is over 50% alcohol, or over 100 proof. Today, the Old Ezra that we're using is 58.5%, and although it sounds a lot stronger than your average tipple, these overproof dark spirits work wonderfully once they're kind of tamed slightly, stirred down in a cocktail with other ingredients. And it really provides a backbone of a really solid old-fashioned here. Being a corn-based spirit, predominantly a corn-based spirit, bourbon gives kind of sweet, vanilla, light, smoky, oaky kind of notes. I'm going to be using 1 ounce of that, and aside it, an ounce or 30 milliliters of a whiskey from the same producers, Ezra Brooks Straight Rye. So this is a regular strength, coming in at 45 ABV. And rye is very much a grain which is kind of rough in all of the right ways. It's a little bit more aggressive than corn, harder to grow, and it's quite stubborn, as stubborn as a grain could be, I guess. It doesn't grow everywhere, and it's kind of rough and rugged. In all the right ways, I find. So that alongside its kind of corn-based counterpart. So I'm going to start with the smaller half of the Boston shaking tin that we used previously. And I'm going to pour 30 milliliters or 1 ounce of the bourbon, coupled with the same amount of the rye. If you wish, if you play around with this recipe, or if you have a favorite whiskey, then easier to just use 2 ounces of whatever whiskey you like. I'm using this because this is my personal preference. I'm going to use 10 milliliters of a brown sugar syrup, which is made using 1 part sugar equal to 1 part of water and dissolved. So that's 100 grams of sugar dissolved into 100 milliliters of water and stirred till it dissolves. That'll last for about a month in the fridge for you. To balance the sweetness, I'm then going to take Angostura bitters, aromatic cocktail flavoring, and put 4 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add some ice to our stirring vessel and stir about 100 times using a bar spoon. If you don't have a bar spoon at home, then a regular spoon will do just fine. If you don't have a shaking tin, then you can stir it in a glass or in a jug at home as well. I'm using metal today instead of glass because it's a better conductor of heat, meaning that when I'm making the drink here, it doesn't take very long at all for the vessel to get cold, meaning that the liquid is retaining a lot more of that lower kind of temperature, and it's not forcing the ice to dilute further by the liquid being warmer than I might want it to be. Mixing glasses look very good. If you're trying to impress someone at home, then a mixing glass might be the way forward. I opt for using shaking tins in the bar every time. I'm going to take a rocks glass and some block ice that I prepared earlier. You can make this at home relatively easily by taking an insulated picnic box. Okay, so I'm going to use a strainer to hold back the ice while I pour my mixture of whiskey, bitters and sugar over there. Now to garnish this drink, I'm going to be using an orange peel, but before I place this into the glass, I'm going to cut a cheek off the side of the orange here. So Using a knife, you're going to get a nice thick piece of orange peel from the side with plenty of pith behind it. That's the white. So here we have an orange cheek with plenty of pith behind it, so that I have leverage to kind of push inwards with my thumb and my forefinger there to try to get some orange oils expressing out of the pores there. But before I do that, I'm going to hover it around the side of the glass around a lighter, which will set these oils on fire and then express like that over the top of the glass. And that gives a nice kind of citrusy, smoky aroma, which goes fantastically with whiskey or dark rum or whatever dark spirits you're using to make your old-fashioned. That's cheek, and cut a more traditional style orange peel. And then I'm gonna express the oils again over the top, create a nice floret out of it, and pop that into the side of the glass. And that is your old-fashioned. Cheers.